I just whipped up a batch of peppermint black bean brownies. This is a recipe off of doTERRA's blog, and I love this recipe. And I love it because I feel so satisfied in my sweet tooth craving, and yet I'm eating something that has almost nothing bad in it for me. Teensy tiny little bit of sugar. Here's what's in them. And you don't have to remember this because I can post the link in the comments section. 1 can of black beans, 2 eggs, a 1/4 cup of cocoa or raw cacao, which is my preference, 1/3 cup coconut oil, and 2/3 cup honey. And I like to use organic honey. Raw probably wouldn't work in this recipe because of how thick it is, so I do use the liquid. And a tiny bit of baking powder, peppermint essential oil, of course, doTERRA's peppermint essential oil. I do use a few extra drops because I find at this point I'm used to it, so I want a little bit of extra flavor. And 3/4 cup of chocolate chips. So that's the only place that you're getting any refined sugar, and depending on the brand of chocolate chips that you choose, if you choose a really high quality like organic chocolate chip, then you can even be getting like organic cane sugar instead of like a refined processed sugar. And overall, in an entire pan of brownies, what are you getting? Maybe 5 or 6 chocolate chips in one brownie. So 5 to 10 chocolate chips. Given that the rest of my diet, I've eliminated sugar, is not really that much. And that's why I love these brownies. They taste amazing, and I bring them to every single essential oils class that I teach, and people are blown away. When I first say, try some peppermint black bean brownies, they're like, you can see like, people are not sure. They're not sure that they want to try it. And as soon as they do try it, they are blown away. They can't believe how good it tastes. And that for me is a big win because I'm human. I still enjoy things that taste amazing. I've always had a sweet tooth. I love junk food. I still have a weakness for potato chips, but I really try my hardest to minimize my intake of things that I know aren't good for me. And what has happened over the years is my body, as I've started to refine my diet and fine tune it, right, cutting out things that I know aren't good for me, my body responds now very quickly when I eat things that aren't good for me, as well as when I eat things that are good for me. Right? So last night, for example, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I wasn't staying at my house. I was staying somewhere else, and I didn't sleep well. And I was tired when I woke up this morning, and I was tired when I got home. And I made myself a bomb green juice, amazing. It was like cucumber, celery, some fennel, a bunch of kale stems. What else did I have in there? An apple, a lime. And then I blend that all with a giant bunch of organic spinach and kale. And I threw some chlorella powder. I just picked that up. I threw that in there. And I immediately felt energized and well and ready to take on the rest of this day. So that's what happens, when you get to this place that you've refined your diet and you're eating really well, you can feel the good and the bad in your body. And here's the thing, I remember what it was like when I was switching over my diet, probably in my early 20s. I started going to the gym a lot. I decided I was going to get really fit, right after a breakup, which is oftentimes when a lot of us get really motivated to get super fit and healthy. And I was going to the gym, 3 to 5 times a week and running 5K and doing all the strength training. And I felt great, and I was starting to see the difference in my body. But the real light bulb for me was when I fine-tuned my diet. So at that time, it was eliminating all refined sugar, which, I would always have like little gummy snacks at my desk or, little things like that. And I cut out all junk food, and it was just lean protein, brown and wild rice, veggies, fruit. And literally weight just melted off of me. And I got to my all-time most fit body, and it was amazing to watch how fast that happened. Now, I'd probably been going to the gym about 3 months before I got my diet under wraps. Oh, just got a sniff of those brownies cooking up. They're still in the oven. So that was the first kind of light bulb moment to me and how big of an impact our diet can have. And of course, when we first start to cut those foods out of our diet, it's normal to miss them, right? They're comfort foods. We turn to them when we need a boost, and when we're feeling, maybe out of sorts or kind of low, and they make us feel better, right? So the vast majority of our eating is emotion-based. And what starts to happen when you change your diet is it's an acquired taste, like anything. So you have a little bit of missing that old, the old habits, the old food. And then you have a period where you need to become acquired to these new tastes, right? Because let's take sprouts, for example. I remember the first time I grew my own sprouts and I tasted them. I was like, okay, I know they're good for me, so I'm gonna eat them. But I wasn't crazy about it. Now I love them. I cannot wait until my sprouts are ready to chomp into them, and I just eat them by the handful, just by themselves. I don't need to eat them on anything else. In fact, I find anything else takes away from their flavor now, and I love that. So it really becomes an acquired taste, and like anything, once you commit to it and you start doing it, it gets easier the longer you go. And guys, the biggest payoff, by far the biggest payoff with changing your diet is you're going to feel better. And you cannot put a price on that. You've probably heard the saying, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. It's so true, but you really have to live it and feel it to believe it, because nobody can actually show you or explain to you how good that feels. You have to experience it. And I promise you, once you experience it, you won't even want to go back, okay? And the thing is, once you've done a really good job of cleaning up your diet and making sure the food that you take in is clean, you can have little treats here and there, right? I still have chips every now and then. I still have a little bit of sugar. But I do try to, let's say, replace we don't keep refined sugar in the house at all, so we keep maple syrup and honey, and that's what I turn to when I'm having sweet tooth cravings. I haven't found a solid substitute for chips yet, other than, coconut chips. Those are pretty good. There's some, lentil chips, but they're still processed. They're still, refined stuff. So, that stuff, anything in moderation is okay. But your diet, if it is very solid overall, those treats that you give yourself have less of an impact than if your overall diet quality is really poor. You're eating a lot of processed, refined, deep fried, heavy foods. That's going to make a much bigger difference when your diet is clean, and you can feel the difference. So what's the other thing I was going to say? Lost my train of thought there. I can just smell those brownies. I'm going to have to go get them out soon. Just and one thing at a time, right? It's really hard to make over. That's what I was going to say about the green juice. So that's one thing that you can incorporate into your diet before you start cutting things out, to support your body and set a baseline for feeling well before you start to cut things out, right? Because it's giving your body a lot of amazing stuff, and I found I actually have to supplement with different things like iron and whatnot far less, because I'm doing that. And my energy, my stamina, my vitality, it's amazing, and I crave that green juice every single day. And I know that if someone who has a really heavily refined and processed diet tried that green juice, they'd probably be sick. It would taste horrendous to them. That's my guess. Maybe not everyone. But where we are in our diet, when I taste that, it has very little taste. It tastes green, it tastes delicious, and it tastes amazing because I know how good it is for me. And that's what's on the other side of changing those habits. It's so worth it. And just wanted to share that with you. So thanks for listening. As always, if you have any questions, shoot me an email. I love sharing information. I'm just sharing what works best for me, and I would love to hear what works for you. I would love to hear, things you're struggling with, or if you need suggestions on things that you can try. I've been on this mission, this journey, this, natural health journey for almost 15 years now. So I've had lots of time to try things and refine, and what I do might not work for everyone, but it might work for some. And it's just my, position to share the information in case it helps anyone, achieve their goals or get closer to what the health and wellness and vitality that they're trying to achieve in their lives. Have an awesome day, guys.